For the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, Bola BAKARE, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level. Welcome back to our program, State of the Nation, where we hasten the motions for national development. This morning, we shall be looking at local government administration, the challenges and the solutions. We all are very conversant with the three tiers of government, vis-a-vis the federal, the state, and the local governments. But as we speak, there are questions that are beckoning for answers about the administration of our local governments. It is a known fact that we have 774 local governments in Nigeria. It is also a known fact that there are some states that created extra LCDAs to enhance the level of governance, albeit unconstitutionally. It is also a known fact that our Constitution says the sharing formula goes from the federal to the state to the LGs. By that I mean 52% to the federal government, 28% to the states, and 20% to the LGs. But as we speak, the situation is not so. In most cases, the LGs are non-existent, and as such, there is no administration in place. And if there is, it is on a low level. What we are trying to do this morning is to now look at the situation we have on our hands and how we will address the challenges and provide solutions to them. Right now, this morning, I have two guests on phone that are going to call in. The first one is Malam Moyosori Jaji. He is a politician, he is an analyst, and he is the former executive secretary in a local government in Lagos. He has the wherewithal to give us insights into the workings of local governments and what transpires there. Let me engage our first phone-in caller, Mr. Ahmed Jaji. Hello there.
Hello.
Aha, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Jaji.
I'm very sorry. The audio system is very, very poor at my end here. I can hardly hear you, but please, let's write on.
But I can hear you quite well. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What we're trying to tidy up this morning is the fact that we have local governments in place, 774 of them. And there are some instances where some states created some extra LCDAs so as to enhance governance and get it to the grassroots. It is unconstitutional for states to do this. And you were part of the system. You were once an executive secretary in a local government. Can you give us an insight into why this is happening and the reasons that happened?
If one needs to go into that, we are going to stoke up a lot of negative emotions. Okay. Because you need to examine the causes and whys of why those things are happening. We have 774 local governments in Nigeria and some SCDAs in some other states. If you can recall, Lagos State, for example, was established the same day with states like Kano, Kaduna, what that means is that while Lagos State is kept as 20 local governments, other states were, created out of states like Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, and wherever. And even in the southeast, the states created there are still the ones we are still grappling with. But the point one wants to make now is that those who were at the helm of affairs then, they were all military men and from a particular section of the country.
Agreed.
And when they were leaving, they left us a decree. They fraudulently referred to as a constitution.
Okay.
So a part of the country legally is collecting more than the other part of the country. Now, when the government realized this under former governor Ahmed Bola Tinubu, that was when the agitation for, more states should be created. And that was why the 37 other FEDAs were created, because the then President Obasanjo was very, very averse to Lagos State having more local government. But those of us who are watching the scenario, we knew that Lagos State wanted to be at the same level with all those states that were created the same day with them, but they are having more funds from the federal allocation through the back door.
Thank
through
you.
the creation of this state, like a state like Katsina, Yobe, and whatever, what have you.
Okay.
So it is an aberration.
Okay, agreed.
And when the Lagos State government tried to do it, that was when the former presidency the acquisition of
Malam Jaji, now you're talking in terms of the funds that are being expended, that are being given from the federal allocation to the states, and then vis-a-vis the local governments. Let me ask you this. Local governments are beginning to look like appendages of state governments. By that I mean they are like rubber stamps to the state governments. Because the funds that you talked about, when the funds come in, the states are at the aim of affairs.
I can only talk of my own personal experience here.
Yeah, we would like to hear from you.
When you talk of that, it is very, very circumstantial and situational.
Okay.
Because what is happening in Lagos might not necessarily happen in other states.
Agreed.
But what I experienced when I was the executive secretary of Ododo LCDA,
okay,
we used to have a joint meeting with the state. We call it JAC, Joint Account Committee.
Okay.
And Joint Account Committee was necessary and is still necessary because the Constitution stipulates that 10% of internally generated revenue by every state should be plowed back into the coffers of the local government. And you cannot do that without gathering all the local governments together to show them how much the state government had made in a particular month, and how much you are distributing to them based on some, factors.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, when we were there, Lagos State was very, very open.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You know how much you are earning. You know why you are earning so much. That can't be that sure for other states.
Let me go into another aspect that is total, that is widespread. There is this perennial war. Let me use the word in quote. Perennial war between within the three tiers of government. What do you think we should do? What do you think is the course? What are your thoughts on this, and what do you think we can do? We're having
problem with connection again because I can't hear you.
Hello.
I can bet you if I can hear you very well, I will do justice to the question. Please, maybe can you repeat it, please?
I will. Can you hear me now? What I was saying was there is that usual perennial war between the three tiers of government. Can you hear me?
The telephone lines doing a negative trick or not. That's a glitch now.
But the funny thing is, I can hear you loud and clear.
But I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Can you tell me what you want?
The idea is there is this perennial war between the three tiers of government. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, but like.
There is.
Banaji, what like.
Just hold on a while.
Hello?
Just hold on a while. Hold on a while.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Hello? I'm moving away from where I was.
Stay where you are.
The constitution stipulates,
Yes.
because the kind of government we are practicing, federalism.
Okay.
Whether it's properly being practiced or not is beside the question, and academic. But we have federal, state, and the local government.
That's right.
Those are the three tiers that are supposed to be independent of each other.
Okay.
But by the type of federalism we are running in Nigeria, definitely they are not independent of one another.
Okay.
The local government relies solely on the federal government.
Agreed.
States too, they go every month cap in hand, collecting allocation from the federal government. And that wasn't the practice in the First Republic, when the regions were the ones dictating
The pace of what was going on.
Financial issues were concerned. Is what you make in your region. You don't send the percentage to the center.
To the federal, yes.
Well, those cookies of 1966, for whatever reason that, we need not go through now, they decided to suspend the independent constitution instead of the federal rely on the state, on the regions.
Yes.
They now made it that the regions will be relying on the central government.
Oh, that's.
So the two are not independent of the what we call federal government, central government in Abuja.
Okay.
There's nothing anybody can do about it unless we sit down to review our constitution to make the states and the local government independent of the federal, because money is the issue.
Okay, my brother. Coming from him, he has been able to give us some good perspective into the workings of local governments. For the simple fact that he was an executive secretary in a local government, like he said, Ojodu LCDA, one of the creations of the state. This was based on the fact that what he said was there are some states that had some further creations out of them that gave them more local governments and gave them more opportunity of governance. Unfortunately, like he said, that did not happen in Lagos, and that gave room to a situation where the then governor, Bola Tinubu, created 37 LCDAs to aid him in his everyday governance. But be that as it may, we are in a situation where we should improve on life in itself. Life is work in progress. And basically, if we're looking at governance, governance starts from the local government to the state before it becomes a case for the federal. But my question to him, which he did not take care of, and I guess maybe subsequently or later when we tidy this up, we'll be able to go into it, was how come there is a lack of relations between the three tiers of government? If you ask Mr. A what is restructuring, he will probably tell you he wants the federal government to drop its 52% to something lower in the 40s and give more to the states. The states will say, okay, I'm going to give X amount to the local governments. You see, situations like this are situations that cause all these challenges and anomalies in the operations of a local government. From what we gather from him too, what we have on ground, it seems we don't even have local governments anymore. Because he said it, that the CX, which is State Independent Electoral Commissions, that what they do these days is just a case of the party in power will always make sure that they win all the seats. These are the challenges that we have in our local governments. We are not stopping here now. We're going to have another caller on hand who is going to do justice to this on a different perspective.
For the past 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, Nigeria has been having challenges that are beckoning and waiting for answers and solutions. That is why we are bringing to you our program, State of the Nation. And this is going to come up on our flagship program this morning on ITV. I am hereby inviting you to join me, BAKARE, your host, on State of the Nation, so that we can hasten the motions that brings national development. It's going to be a regular basis on Tuesdays. Make it a date with me. I'll be there waiting for you, and then we shall discuss Nigeria on an holistic level.